Welcome back, Aces, to another X-Wing Battle Report. I'm Brian.
And I'm Ethan.
And today I'm squaring off against Matt.
Matt's playing a fairly standard Biggs Walks the Dogs list with Biggs with R, 4D6, Integrated Astromech 2, Blue Squadron B-Wings with Fire Control System, and then Stress Spot, Gold Squadron Y-Wing with Title and TLT.
And then I'm flying a mishmash of rebels I've been playing around with. I've got Chewie with Push the Limit, Kanan, Kyle Katarn, the Millennium Falcon title, and engine upgrade. Ezra Bridger with Push the Limit, Jan Ors, and targeting computer. And then a Tala squadron pilot with concussion missiles and guidance chips.
Really like this Millennium Falcon. It does everything all the time.
It does all of the actions all of the time. It's kind of weird. It took a couple games to get into the swing of flying it, but it's really hard to, like, when you're jockeying for position in the opening maneuvers, you know you're not going to get shots. It's hard trying to remember to push the limit, even though you're not going to get shots on anything, just to get stress on him, so Kanan can clear it, so you get an extra focus from Kyle when you actually get into range.
I mean, the combination of turning all of your white maneuvers on a ship that has one red maneuver is fairly spectacular.
Yeah, and especially a 3-dice turreted ship. I mean, Chewie's going wherever the heck he wants. He's going to have more than enough action economy to have focused target lock and a boost to try to get out of arcs, and he can be really dodgy, which is why I really like having Jan Ors on Ezra, because you can turn Chewie just into a huge tank with a focus and 2 evade tokens as well.
Yeah, and on top of that, Ezra is not easy to kill, so you can potentially have a very survivable support ship that is really just in there for the duration.
And Ezra's really difficult to deal with, especially because Ezra's almost always going to have 2 evade tokens and a stress on him.
Yeah, which just makes it
difficult to deal
hard
with.
to kill. I mean,
I struggled finding what else to put on him. I found enough situations where having a turret wasn't going to help me as much as having targeting computer on him. Being able to target lock is one of the biggest things that I think people overlook on the attack shuttle. It's a 3-dice attack ship. I mean, it's got some okay maneuvers, and you can throw a turret on it, but without being able to target lock, I found a lot of situations where I really needed a target lock to try to push extra damage in, especially at range 1 getting 4 dice. I mean, really could have made a huge difference, so I opted for the targeting computer over an auto blaster turret. There's a lot of situations where you really want a turret on there. I didn't have enough points for dorsal, and I thought being able to target lock was just going to be better than hoping I was going to be in range 1 out of arc.
well, the fighter really does have a very good dial if you don't care as much about things like stress. It's not like you're really sacrificing all that much by not having a turret. I think it's an okay trade-off. I prefer Hera myself just for the pilot skill, and I've certainly found it very frustrating not having the reroll.
Yeah.
So
I could have dropped the Tala down to a bandit to afford it, but I felt having 2 pilot skill 4s was better, especially against U-boats. Being able to guarantee getting your concussion missiles off is pretty huge against some of the pilot skill 3s that are out there now.
yeah, but I think that this Matt's list is unusually suited to take down a list like this, because there is a big target, and you really do want to start putting work into that stress bot, because that's really a problem. Loading up stress is a problem for Chewie. I mean, it's not as bad as it could be because you have Kyle, but it's really not optimal not be getting all of those actions.
Yeah.
So.
And being able to shut down boost on him is huge.
Yeah. So I think there are a lot of answers to everything in the meta, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So even something like this where nominally Chewie is wandering around at 2 evades and a focus every turn. That's,
And there's a lot of dice coming at Chewie this turn. I mean, 2 B-Wings, an X-Wing, and a primary from a Y-Wing as well as the TLT. And I think Matt's so far has only managed to strip down just all 4 of Chewie's shields.
Yeah, I mean, so that goes to show you just how tanky this build really is. But now we're starting, you've got 3 stress on you. You can clear a maximum of 1 of it. This turn, this is an issue, I think. It's not the worst thing in the universe, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, and everything is pointed right at Chewie, even with opening up all of his dial for all of his white maneuvers to clear stress. Matt's almost guaranteed to get shots with most of his fleet at Chewie. And it's not going to take long for a 1 evade ship to go down to a couple B-Wings shooting at it.
Yeah, and an X-Wing and a stress pod. This is 4 ships shooting at anything should take it down fairly quickly. Even if it's a Phantom with cloak, four opportunities to roll dice should start plunking damage down pretty fast.
Yeah.
And there's just only so much that Chewie can do. I think it was a really good decision here going for the bump. There's no reason not to, and you cleared distress, so that was great. And you took out one of his you took out a 4 dice attack. That was a good maneuver, I think.
Yeah. There's really no reason not to try to bump a B-Wing.
I think it's just, in this situation, Biggs is just really making this list shine. Because you really don't want to be shooting Biggs, because you don't really care. Because he's, he's got some stuff, but compared to a fire control system B-Wing, he's just not capable of the kind of output that they are, and he doesn't have the maneuverability that they do. So
yeah, and this is really where I like having the target computer on Ezra. Ezra being able to still get an evade and still be able to target lock Biggs, knowing that he's going to be in range 1. I mean, 4 dice, Biggs is going to go down this turn to Chewie and Ezra.
I think you put a lot of firepower into this. It's a significant decision, but it's just not the optimal target.
Yeah.
There goes Biggs. Nice shot off on the
Then we got
stress
the
spot, but
concussion missile going off on stress spot. Being able to spend his focus, get guidance chips, and get concussion missile, turning hit focus
2 blanks.
2 blanks to 4 hits.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Pretty amazing for a cheap fighter.
Yeah, Ordnance really has changed a lot since guidance chips came out. I really didn't think it would change all that much, but it really has significantly altered how you look at chips.
I'd rather have 2 Z-95s with Ordnance than 3 Z-95s now, especially with concussion missiles. I mean,
well, yeah, with there goes Chewie, which is pretty devastating for this list. But with initiative, you could reasonably expect to kill 2 Z-95s before the 3rd Z-95 even gets to shoot. Before the other guy even gets to shoot. So suddenly you go from a situation of 3 Z-95s versus 2 Z-95s to 2 Z-95s versus 1 Z-95, which, yeah, I mean, that's a problem.
It makes a 2 attack dice ship a significant threat against anything out there.
Yeah, no, it really has changed a lot. I really like the way it's changed things. I really thought that it would kind of conflict with munitions failsafe, because they occupy the same slot, but if you take the right munitions, you are almost guaranteed a 4 hit, and I think with most of them, you are guaranteed a 3 hit,
Yeah.
you are guaranteed to do damage with the worst possible rolls, you know. So you don't need the failsafe. And certainly, as we've seen, U-boats are just devastating.
Yeah.
They're really the list to beat these days.
Yeah, plasma torpedoes are very strong with them.
Yeah. But, you know, I like that it just goes to show you that in this meta, you know, it's constantly shifting all the time. So you can see kind of older lists like this Biggs list, you know, which is very kind of like standard staple from waves and waves ago.
Yeah.
From the very early time of X-Wing, and we can see it's coming back.
Aside from integrated Astromech, the newest thing from Matt's list, I think, is the droid out of the Rebel transport.
Yeah, but that just goes to show that it's come into its own now in a way that it just wasn't able to do earlier. So, you know, so you can see that there's kind of a longevity to ships. You might initially feel that they're a particular way, but they can come back around and play a different role later on in the meta.
Yeah, and Fantasy Flight's done a wonderful job of releasing upgrades that are relevant for ships that
are underperforming.
Yeah.
I think this was a somewhat interesting maneuver on your part. I think the going for the Katarn might have been more useful in this scenario.
I'm not sure what I was thinking there.
I think maybe you were worried about the stress spot. I mean, that's the other thing about stress spot is it's really has a huge psychological effect on people. They don't want to get stressed, even when it's not that big of a deal. It wouldn't change that much.
Yeah. I mean, Ezra doesn't really care about the stress so much. I mean, yeah, you're taking away push and Janors, which is pretty significant, but Ezra's still getting his ability from having stress on him, so it really doesn't matter. But I think the big thing is it really affects his maneuverability.
Yeah, I think in this case, the Z-95 has spent its munition. It doesn't care about getting stressed. Ezra is a target. It's going to be receiving the stress anyways. I think not being able to shoot with both your ships in this turn was a big deal, because it's just you're just not doing any damage right now, and you're receiving damage in any form, which is a problem. I think this is interesting because it shows kind of like how different like attack roles can play different roles. Like Hera would not care at all because she can just, you know.
There was a lot of people that I played this list with against, and they were shocked that I was using an attack shuttle. They didn't know that you could just take an attack shuttle without taking the Ghost to go along with it.
I think the attack shuttle is a great little addition to the Rebels. It's cheap, it's effective, and it's surprisingly survivable if you build it correctly.
Yeah.
And sadly, in this case, it's just a little too little. You know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of heavy firepower coming his way.
Well, this particular build in Ezra really wants to be a knife fighter, and B-Wings are just better at it, which is unfortunate. And Stress Bot is just making it impossible for Ezra to be able to do anything.
Yeah, that's the really terrifying part of Stress Bot is it's just. It shuts down a lot of things. Its ability to control is really huge.
They're both B-Wings waiting to line up on Ezra. Not much you can do there. Even getting 4 dice unmodified is not going to help him out,
Well,
especially
yeah, I mean,
when you blank out.
You can blank out. That's the really sad part.
It's happened so much with Ezra. I just really feel like I need that target lock on him.
It does feel like it happens more often for whatever reason. And there goes the Z-95.
And that's game. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time.